Muchas gracias, hermano. Thank you, everyone, for inviting me, and thank you to the Turkish American National Steering Committee for inviting me and sharing my story. And just as this is a very timely moment in our, not just in our city, in our state, but in our country and in the world in general. And I believe that all power is local, not just the politics, but our power lies in our communities. And for me, it really also begins with our stories. I came to the US when I was just 5 years old after my father passed away. My mom immigrated from Mexico with me and my 3 other siblings that were about 3 and 8 and 10 years old. And I remember that last day that we crossed the US-Mexico border. It was in the middle of the night and it was silence. And I can see the blue lights of the border dancing across the landscape of the rocky terrain. And all of a sudden, us just running. And throughout the just flash of us moving from one point to the other, I remember my mom falling down, and there was a big cloud of dust and dirt, and I couldn't see anything. But one of the things that I do remember vividly was her hand holding me tightly, reminding that she was there to protect me. And anything could have happened that night. We could have been killed. She could have been raped. So many dangers could have happened. Dangers that are happening right now as people leave their countries seeking a better opportunity. But because of her love and support, we were able to make it safely across. But also because of that love and the support, as well as the support of my community, I was able to graduate high school, graduate college, graduate law school. And in February 3rd, 2016, I took the oath and became New York's first undocumented attorney. And throughout that time, I learned the power of advocacy. I learned the power of sharing your stories. That even though I didn't have millions and millions of dollars to advocate and do legislative advocacy in state and federal in Congress, I did have my story. And along with young people from across the country, we got together and we mobilized students, undocumented young people who felt that the time for change was now. And we started advocating for the Federal DREAM Act. That is legislation that would have provided a path to citizenship for undocumented young people who came here as children. I started mobilizing in New York State and eventually to Washington, D.C., where we were able to meet with our U.S. senators, including Senator Chuck Schumer, as well as President Obama. And in 2012, we got a major victory where we were able to push the administration to take executive action and take action on the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, the DACA program, that allow young immigrants to have a work permit and just the ability to be free from deportation. So for us, it was this story that really told the country that we were here and telling our stories. And this is the point of our advocacy that we would love to really focus on, that when we are talking about government, when we're talking about advocacy, it's really the stories of our communities. It's the stories of each other. And I can tell you countless examples where I went to Ruby Red, Alabama, where I was able to tell my story, and conservative Republicans came up to me and said, I did not understand this issue until I met you. Or the story of a US senator in Alaska that heard the story of a dreamer and was eventually supported the federal legislation because she heard that story. So our stories are very powerful. And as the assembly member was mentioning, it's the power of our stories, the power of our community who are coming here and seeking change. And we don't have to wait for anyone. We don't have to wait to get permission to say, okay, it's your turn. When our community deserves change, and when our community is seeking a better opportunity and government fails, or the current elected officials fail to listen to our communities, either because they don't care or because at some times, like we saw under the Trump administration, because he feels or they feel that our communities don't deserve the power of government, don't deserve the power of government and services to serve our communities. And we see very well where it's because our religion, the color of our skin, we are ignored, we are silenced. And for me, that enough is enough. And that is why I got involved in politics. I got involved in advocacy. And most currently, I got involved to run for Staten Island Borough President, especially on Staten Island, where we see incredible injustices, inequities, and educational, environmental, economic. We see this borough president, or we see a member of Congress who keeps vilifying our Muslim brothers and sisters, or our other religions, or immigrants, or so forth. And we should not tolerate that. And we should not even just accept tolerance in the community. We should seek immediate acceptance and support from elected officials. And that is why we launched the campaign. I became a US citizen just in February 15 of this year, after 30 years of being undocumented. And for me, it was a matter of choice with my family. Say, you know what? I cannot wait until someone tells me, Cesar, run for office, or Cesar, this is your opportunity to run. I took it upon myself with incredible support of this community, and just Mia Salman has been an incredible champion. Shahana has been an incredible champion in the community. And for me, it's making sure that we are taking action. And that is why we launched our campaign literally with zero money, with no political support. People told us, you know what? Cesar's not going to make it to the ballot. Cesar's not even going to get the required signatures for the petition. Cesar's not going to raise the money to really have a dent in this political process. A month later, we have exceeded our fundraising goal. A month later, we not only are we top of the ballot, well, we not only do we make the ballot, but we're on top of the ballot, and we're getting more support and endorsements from local unions, advocacy groups, and we're showing the power of our communities. Other communities, other elected officials have failed to even recognize what's happening in Palestine, and that is because they're trying to. I have no idea what they're trying to, but I do know that when it comes to doing what's right, we need elected officials to do what's right, to speak on behalf of protecting human rights here on Staten Island or across the world, including what's happening with our brothers and sisters in Palestine. So for me, this is why I'm running for office, because I want to make sure that Borough Hall here on Staten Island can have an opportunity where our communities can feel welcome, that our diversity can feel welcome, where we can have Turkish celebration and Mexican celebration in Borough Hall, in government. And that's not happening right now. So for me, that's why I'm running for office. And that's why I urge all our young people, not only because they're the future now. And we want you all to take action and say, this is my government, this is my country, and I'm going to run for office. I'm going to advocate. I'm going to push my elected officials. I don't care if I'm 14 years old or 16 years old, we still have power. And I want you all to know that I'm running because this is the time for us to create the change, because it's time that our communities have the power, our government. So I'll conclude there. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak with you all. And it's definitely a great honor. And if you all have any questions, definitely please reach out to us at vargas2021.com. And for us, this is about making history. And for me, this is just the beginning of what we can do in Staten Island, New York State, and across the country.